Good morning, and thanks so much for tuning in to Stocks to Watch on BloombergQuint. I'm Mathew. Well, the 13,000 number was hit yesterday on the Nifty, and it was held. More importantly, we spoke about it in the morning, and it ended up happening. The way things look right now in the global markets and the strength that's building, it looks like that number could be held today as well. But we're speaking about three specific ideas. Today on Stocks to Watch. My guest is Yogesh Mehta. Thanks so much for joining me, Yogesh. Pleasure having you on the show. I want to start by asking you about Muthoot Finance, and I've been wanting to speak about this stock for quite a while now. Not just because when the gold rally happened, the stock happened to take off along with it, but also because its fundamentals have looked strong despite the pandemic and the upheaval that caused with the economy. What is your rating on the stock? But the latest is that Muthoot Finance has been rejected, or its application has been rejected by the RBI to acquire IDBI Capital Markets and Securities, IDBI Trustee, and IDBI Asset Management. And the RBI has said that the activity of sponsoring a mutual fund or owning an asset management company is not in consonance with the activity of an operating NBFC. Is that a negative? Some people would actually look at it and say that the core business is intact and that focus is going to continue, so it's going to be a positive.
Hi, Alex. First of all, good morning, and thanks for having. Always pleasure to be with BloombergQuint. Particularly when we talk about the Muthoot Finance, and coming back to the markets, the company has got a strong track record of growing at 30 to 33% growth rate. I'm talking about the pre-provisioning profits for last 2 years, and the outlook for the loan growth and the assets is still in the vicinity of 10 to 15%. The news flow which have come yesterday in the evening about acquiring their application has been rejected. But I think it was just very minute acquisition of 215 crores of total assets for IDBI mutual fund business. And the company is basically pioneer into the gold financing business since last 1 decade or so. So I think this was just a minor thing which has come as a negative, and any which ways they don't have any forte on managing this kind of a business into asset class other than gold. So I feel it was just a startup they were trying to do with, but I think the core focus will again come back to the gold financing business where they have got a strong forte, and that will be much better focused business now. Any which ways, so I'm not looking at that as a major negative, but rather I will take this opportunity as a major positive one. And I think for my projection, the assets, total assets for this company would be around 57,000 odd crores for current financial year, and will grow by at least 12-13% for next financial year. Overall outlook for the business looks very promising. Company has raised quite a good chunk of funds via NCD in last 18 to 20 months, and they are putting it into the business perspective. And NIMs are very much stable and growing fast. Gold prices are soaring high, so there is no much threat on further increasing of NPAs for them. So all the good things are in perspective, and I think around this valuation of ROE of 55% and ROA of around 6.5%, NPA rate is around 2. All are recipe for good business with book value of around 350 rupees. I think 3.2 times price book for current for the forward will be around 3 times. So it's a thumbs up for me.
It's a thumbs up. It's a buy for you on Muthoot Finance. But that brings me to the second group of stocks, and they were very active in trade yesterday, Yogesh. In fact, Sunteck Realty was the largest gainer, broad market, right? It gained over 10%, which is the highest in 3 months. But that entire basket of stocks, realty stocks, were doing very well in trade yesterday, and that brings me to the question. We're hearing a lot of anecdotal evidence that there is sale of real estate happening. What is your view on the sector? Do you think that people should be cautious initially and wait for actually the numbers to pan out in the Q3 earnings before they take the plunge into any one of these stocks?
Alex, for realty per se, I would say that there are much more positive happening post the pandemic situation has arrived. So I think quarter 2 and quarter 3 both the times government has taken some good steps to incentivize this sector. Till now, in the pandemic situation, March, April, May, everybody is talking out, and yes, it was visible and experienced that nobody will go for this real estate asset class as an investment or as a consumption for self consumption. So that was not in vicinity, and the stock were hammered to the bottom of I think maybe 2 3 years lowest price it was available. And now since the incentivized scheme has come and we have seen a good pickup and traction into residential properties, the demand is there. First we have seen in Bangalore and the south area, and now into the Mumbai area and the metro cities further. Overall the pickup is showing very strong demand. Even I was hearing commentary for HDFC Limited, where housing loan for number were fantabulous number in October, and for the first fortnight of November it is still in the same intensity. So I think the way they are sounding bullish for the business on the home loans, so as the property business and the real estate. I think Bombay based the incentive scheme is working very well, and I have seen good pickup in all the companies like Suntech Realty. They have got good projects in Mumbai, and the inventory is now coming down to the moderate level from the higher side. And overall, Godrej Properties, Suntech Realties, the Bombay-based Oberoi Realty. So all the other two names are total debt free. But Suntech is now seeing good traction over the business, and they've done business of almost 300 crores in October month, and still they are optimistic and projecting that will continue for the next in November as well as December. So looking at this, I think property business would be much better, and it should be in the portfolio stock.
So what is your pick in the sector? What two or three stocks would you say you should hold?
So my packing order would be first in the Godrej Properties, and then it would be Oberoi Realty, and then if it is a metro cities, Mumbai based, and then the third one would be Suntech.
Okay, fair enough. Which brings me to the third stock, which is RBL Bank, and it was one of the top gainers yesterday as well. We have RBL Bank that gained over 6% in trade yesterday, and for the year though, it's still lower by about 35 odd percent. And it has been a little bit of a laggard when it comes to the private bank pack, which has done really well in trade so far this year. So would you say that it's finally catching up and investors should sit up and take notice of this stock? Are the fundamentals really keeping up with that increase in stock price?
So Alex, RBL is the last one to move into the pack, and we have seen good rally in IndusInd Bank as well. Post the promoter has 15 has raised for the 50 increased the stake by 1,500 crores. What I think in RBL Bank that due to this pandemic, the credit card business was more suffering, and that was the reason the stock was not performing well. But overall, in last 2 months, promoter has done raising of funds via QIP. Last month they did. Recently, they did October month, and they've done 1,500 crores raised at 177 rupees. So the capital adequacy ratio is still improving. The overall loan book is asset is around say 98,000 crores, and deposit is of around 60,000 crores. This was FY20, and this year it will be 65,000 crores. So I think the business vicinity is there, the credit card business and other stuffs which were looking at a very into the worst shape is now improving and going towards green. So that all put together, I think at one time, little less than one time price to book, it is still available. And with 7% RO, 7 to 8% ROE, I think the stock it can have some more headroom further, not
Right.
100%, but at least from here it can move up to 270, 280 level.
Okay, so there's still some room, and perhaps you can look at acquiring but for the medium term, you have to watch out for the earnings, I would think. Thank you so much for joining me on this conversation, and it was a pleasure speaking to you.
Same
And to
here.
you, dear listener, dear viewer, thank you so much for tuning in as well. Have a profitable day in trade today. There's a lot that you can see and view on BloombergQuint.com, so don't forget to check it out.